Hi, this is Pastor Jay from Covenant Light and Shadow. Today's topic is about negativity. Uh, Negativity is an essential part of creation in the universe. There's a positive and there's a negative, and in this world, reality, things are either positive or negative, and and it's just the way our world works. You can't have this reality without negativity. It's just the way it is. Why is there negativity in the world? Why do bad things happen to good people? Um, that's basically if you're a positive being and you need to learn a lesson outside of your comfort zone. Um, I relate negativity to discomfort. And then in the discomfort is where you learn your lessons. So, but on the other hand, you can everything is either you either attract or you repel. That's another thing about our reality, attraction and repelling. So, so when you think of negativity, what attracts negativity? Negativity attracts negativity. So, or negativity will attract a positive to get whatever is positive from the positive. No, it sounds kind of confusing, but um, because negativity can't have abundance unless it's given to them. So, um, and so when you're around negative people, it you'll find that when you hang out with them, when you relate with them, or when you hang out with them and do things with them, it's a draining feeling. Um, when you're around negative people, they'll never give you a real compliment, a real sincere compliment. Um, Everything's based off of what they can get out of you, and that's basically, I mean, that's the harshest point of negativity is the taking away of everything that you have, the sucking of the life force from you, because that's what negativity does. It sucks from you. That's why we have the push and pull in the universe. Giving is pushing, and then taking is a vacuum. So, so in reality, you can fool yourself all you want by saying you're a positive person, but if you call yourself a positive person, but you're doing everything negative, you're not a positive person. You're just negative and denial. But anyways, the reason why I talk about that, the grumpy person, the one that, the negative person, the one that it's always, it could be the brightest, sunniest day, your best day in life, and they'll always find a way to pick at it, to bring it down, to go, well, it could have been sunnier, it could have been hotter today, but no. It's like they got this cake that's made just for them, and then they'll find a way to complain about it, or their job, or just anything. But on a serious note, though, um, you may not be aware of it, but when you're like that, you attract other negative things to you, whether that be in physical or non-physical. Because in this out here, even though you can't see it, there's positivity, electrons going through, positivity, protons, neutrons, everything just kind of going around everywhere. You just can't see it, and so your mind attracts what you want. So if your mind is dialed into the frequency of negativity, what's that gonna happen? That's the open the floodgates to freaking things smelling like sulfur, um, things getting freaking destroyed. Um, you start to end up losing your job. You get in a car accident. You start seeing like your money going away in your bank account. That's all negative influence. Um, People coming in your life that they never give back. They always take. That's another thing. If you're not aware that your mental state can draw negative people to you, um, even without your knowing. Like you can be a positive person, but if you're living a life of negativity, you're gonna draw negative people to you. That and negative people. What do negative people want? They want things quick and easy, with little effort. They don't want to work for anything. They just want things just handed to them, and they don't want to build anything. They don't want to create anything. It's just take, take, take. So, anyways, when you're living around that kind of lifestyle, around those kind of people, or even your mind, even if your mind is thinking negative, it's drawing negativity to yourself. Think positive. Every morning when you wake up, it's a new day. It's a new day of positivity. 'Cause you don't want negativity. No, no. You wake up and you're like, dang, this is going to be a good day today. I mean, you may wake up feeling like crap. Like, oh, another day. Oh man, I got to deal with that boss again. Oh my gosh, I only got $10 in the bank account. What am I going to do? You could either sit there and go, oh, oh, I'm so helpless. I can't do anything. You can either just sit in that mindset forever and just see life slipping away from you, or problems getting worse because you're too depressed and negative to deal with it, um, which can happen to a positive person too. But negativity, oh man, it's a creeper. It's a creeper. It creeps into your life, or it can come into your life really quick, but from my understanding, it kind of comes in slowly and it creeps in and then it builds until it becomes like a snowball effect, where it's like a mountain coming down on you. If you leave the negativity, leave it and not deal with it, it becomes like a monster. So try to deal with the negativity as soon as you can and try to be as positive as you can with your mind, because your mind, your thoughts, determine what's out here. If you don't think positive inside, how are you going to create what's out here to be positive? So, arguing with someone, trying to get a one up on another person, you know, creating, just creating conflict, that, you know, I'm gonna get you. That's all negative stuff. So, and negativity thrives on negativity. So, if you shout at the negative entity or negative being, like, you get out of here, you get out of my home, or you talk to the negative person in the streets, what are they gonna do? A negative person thrives on negativity, so they're gonna like, oh, really? Well, let's do this. You want to be negative, huh? Let's throw down, And then as you're throwing down with the negative person, they're just feeding off you. And it's the same with the spirit realm. It's the same thing. Like, like people will purposely create trauma just to get a negative reaction out of you because they like it. Because they like it. There are beings, entities out there that like negativity. They're all, yes, give me more and more and more. I want to get something for nothing. Give me your money. Give me. Give me your life force. Give me. More. This is like never ending. So, and that's what negative entities and beings do. It's never enough. It's never. There's never enough money. There's never enough love. There's never enough this, or you didn't love me the way that I felt I should be loved. You know, everything's on my terms. You know, you don't accept anybody else. You don't. You're very rigid. Try not to be too rigid because that can end up being negative too. Like, um, how should I say it? Too hard headed, where you don't want to give. You don't want to like. You end up being the tree that stands up to the wind, and then what ends up happening is it crashes down and falls and dies because it wasn't going with the flow. And so, anyways, kind of getting off topic there, but it's on topic, but kind of off topic. But I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to say. So, anyways, so the main thing is to try to keep the mind positive, and even though the outside world might be negative, sometimes some people, you know, they're positive people and they attract positive circumstances to themselves. So to them, that all this stuff is foreign because everything works out for them. Um, so so you want to kind of try to be like good things happen to good people, or bad things will happen, or good things happen to bad people because of their mindset, because they don't criticize themselves, or their ego gets to the point where it overrides the shaming or the feeling of I did something wrong or I did something negative. You know, because if you never feel like you do anything wrong, and you're always I'm the best and I'm on top, sure, your life might be positive on the outside, um, but then there's ripple effects. Your actions might have a ripple effect that down the line it could cause suffering. So that becomes negative. Like the CEO of a company might have a decision, they might not think that it's a big deal or negative, but then as it goes down the train, like as it goes down, people end up realizing that, you know, the supervisor and everyone starts realizing that, oh, this isn't good for us, it's bad for us, and then the whole atmosphere of the whole company becomes negative, all because you're being negative and you're like, this is a good idea, but it ends up causing suffering. Negativity is discomfort and suffering. I don't care what anyone says. It's suffering. So if you live in if you're on, let's say, an underworld spirit or a hell spirit, or just, you know, like you're born from negativity. Those are the types that on the severe case, those are the Jeffrey Dahmers, the real negative, where there's no limits to the negativity, and they enjoy it because they're negative. They're born from negativity, so they enjoy hurting and maiming and doing all that kind of stuff. That's the severest part of negativity. The lightest part of negativity is saying a white lie, and then later on down the lines, you know, someone got their feelings hurt because they were given the truth later and it was a lie, and they just felt, you know, everybody felt bad. That's the least severe negativity, or feeling bad because someone was making fun of you. You know, that's you know that's the child negativity. You know, Mickey Mouse negativity. You know. So, anyways, you don't want to be part of that world, because in that world, it may look like, oh, you could do anything you want. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, I could just, like, ram through everyone and just get rich quick and just, like, oh, my gosh, yeah. Oh, no consequences. Yeah. There's always consequences, and you pay the piper. eventually. Because in this reality, um, even though the spirit might be born from a negative place and they're allowed to do negative things and they're allowed to do whatever they want, in this reality, there's rules. There's things you have to abide by. You got to live with loving beings that aren't like that. Because loving beings don't accept negativity to rule their life. You know, we want to be positive. We want to give. We want to love. We want to share things. We want to build an empire. You know, we like to have family members who feel good about themselves. Uplift each other. Positivity. I mean, it changes the world. It goes, and then it helps everybody. I mean, like if someone were to give me $1 million, I would turn around and then that $1 million would be turned into $6 million, and then it would be put to a good use that would benefit everybody. You know what I mean? It depends on the person that you give the money to. Not everyone would like a charities. Not every charity is the same. Some charities hold 90% of the money and only give 10% of what you give. The reason why I know that is because I worked for the government. And so when you work for the government, there's a law that discloses how much each charity gives to what they're supposed to give to. And trust me, most of them aren't even half of what you give does not go to the intended place. So you have to be careful of what you give to, because negative beings, they want to get something for nothing, and so they'll do a charity and get a bunch of money, and then they'll keep 90% of it and only give 10% out, and then they're like, oh, look at me, I give, I have a charity and I give and I do all this stuff, and it looks good from the outside, but on the inside they're not even giving anything. They're just like giving the 10% to the community. So so be aware of that. Don't just give your money out to just anyone or anything. Be careful where you put your hard-earned money, because to me, that's life force. You worked hard for that money. Blood, sweat, tears, life force, everything to get the bag, You try your hardest to get the bag, You work so hard to get the bag. That's life force. That's blood, sweat, and tears. You don't just want to just give that away, I mean, you have to be cautious of what you give and where you give. So, dang it, Pastor Jay's just off topic here. Anyways, okay, so basically this thing was going to be about just clearing negativity from a negative space. So let's start with that. So you already know about the mind and body and environment can attract negativity. So we got that out of the way. The next thing you got to do is the space that you're living in, the space that you own, is not your space. I hate to say it, it's not your space. Well, Pastor Jay, what do you mean it's not my space? I pay rent for that space. I pay a mortgage on that space. I paid hard-earned of my life force for that money. What do you mean it's not mine? It's not yours until you claim it. You got to claim the space. If you don't claim that space, entities and negative whatever, animals, like invasive species, like it goes with anything. Like, you got to claim that space you're living in. If you don't claim it, the universe will just, like they like to just go in there and just come in and out of your space, and and animals like grizzly bears will go in and out of your space if you don't claim your property, or if you don't claim the garbage units from your trash cans. What happens? The raccoons get into it and they just sprawl that trash everywhere. So you gotta claim your spaces. So what does that mean? Claim your spaces. It means like, putting locks on your on the lids of your locks on your garbage cans. Locking your space. Like putting perimeter cameras around your just you do the things you do to claim your space. And also the energetic space too, where you got to keep your environment where you live to be stress free as much as possible. When you go into it, you should feel happy when you go into your home. If you don't feel happy, then there's something you need to change. Because you need to have your home to feel happy. It's the most important thing. Happiness in your home. Because when you're out in the world, there's no claimed space. So you're just walking around, handshaking people, doing all this stuff. Well, you're accumulating other energies from other people. Energy exchange. Well, there's a exchange, whether that's verbal, non-verbal, energy or non-energy. There's an energy exchange. So an exchange, and then in that exchange, you get the positive outcome, you get the negative outcome. So just try to stay away from things being negative. I mean, it's part of our life. It's things we have to deal with, but you want to minimize. You want to minimize as much as possible. And don't and when you're around negative people, just know that that's just how they are, and just move on. Don't just you're not going to change them. You're not going to change their minds. Because one thing about real negative people is they're really hard-headed. You can't tell them anything. If you try to tell them anything, you can't tell me what to do. Or they think they're better than you, or they know more than you. So, yeah. So you gotta just let them be. And don't try to counteract negativity with negativity. It just never works. Never works. That's why it's better to protest in peace than with Martin Luther King and what else? Just the great John Lennon. Just great Bob Marley. Just do it through peace. You can protest. You can just protest. You can annoy them. You can speak out the truth. The one thing you could do is speak out the truth. That really bugs negative people. When you point out the truth, oh my gosh, they just run for the hills. Anyways, okay, here we go. Another attempt. Here we go. I'm just having fun with the camera. So here we go. So the first thing you want to do is you have to think of, okay, when you clean your bathtub, what's the first thing you think of when you think of wanting to clean your bathtub? Well, the first thing I think of is it can be plugged. That way the water can come up. That way, if you have got to soak your tub, you can soak the tub with soap and then drain it and then scrub it. There's a process. So it's kind of like it's a process to clean your space. That's why it's also called a ritual, because ritual is just steps in action to get an outcome, a desirable outcome. So here we go. So what you do is, first thing you do is you come over to your window. Come over to your window. I've already opened one window, but you open the window. And the reason why you do that is because um, spaces are, they're kind of like there's barriers to your space. And what you're doing is you're opening a barrier so that the negative energies can leave the space that you don't want them to be in. So you open the window open, check. Next, you come around and you get your supplies. So I got a black candle black candles are a vacuum. White candles are positive. So, I like to have both. I like to you could use a black candle or a blue candle. Blue candle does the same thing. I don't care what anyone says. It's the truth. Look it up. A blue candle can be replaced for a black candle. So, anyways, let's get back to because I know that there are people out there that would want to argue over. They're kind of negative, so they argue over everything. And so I'm just telling you my way and my ideas and the way that I do it. And anyone who thinks that that relates to this, then it's good. It helps them because this is just a different way of doing things. You know. So